Testing, 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 1, 2, testing, 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 3, 4. Testing, 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 5, 6. Testing, 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 7, 8. Testing, 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 9, 2. Testing, 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 3, 5. Yeah, you love him.
It is so we should just end it.
Great, great job.
It should be good. It should be good now.
Great job.
Okay, it's already recording.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Perfect.
Ah,
Yeah, this is exciting, man, because the sound just feels beautiful right now.
it really does.
Yeah. Because this is the first time that I'm now, or actually second time when we did our other one. Remember, I don't have the sound coming out of the speakers.
Oh, yeah.
And see, this is stuff you want to probably be looking into as well.
Yeah, like buy stuff for like the sound and everything. Yeah, because I noticed too, uh, just the whole thing of like once it gets kind of darker in the room, I'm getting darker, and it should be like yours is like what is it bright? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either some light coming at me,
Yep, exactly.
and now when I say that,
You don't have your background light from your mirror?
no, but it's not as light as I want it to be. Let me just see where's the other light at. Just a second.
Oh, look, there go David. Hey, David.
I'm sorry.
No, this is
Am I?
perfect timing, brother. No, that's
Oh, you
our,
guys are already recording, so I didn't hope I'm not interrupting.
no, brother. We're excited. We've
Oh,
been excited for this. Thank you so much.
I was hoping I could join a little bit early and get my sound all set up and get the,
Yeah,
little
that's what we're
nervousness
doing right
out
hey.
of me.
now. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for being here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Nice to see you.
you too. Take your
You-
time. Are you set up already or?
No, I still have to do my
Okay. Yeah.
audio.
Yeah. Let us not get in your way.
I'm a little bit old school, so I kind of have to figure this out.
All good.
It's so amazing to see you because we've been like watching your videos and it's so amazing just to kind of like see you now like this and speaking to you. So thank you so much.
Ah,
Yeah.
you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Just one moment. I'm going to try to figure this out.
Yeah. No worries. No rush.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Perfectly.
Okay, great.
How do we sound?
You sound good. Do you want
Okay.
to do a check on
Can you
you?
hear me? How
Yeah,
do I sound?
I said I can hear you great.
Yeah.
Great.
Ah, great. Okay. So the only thing is I can't really hear my voice very well, and the issue is while I'm channeling, if the being can't hear my voice, they may be a bit louder. It's kind of an odd
Okay.
experience, but it should be fine.
Okay. Great. And it might be something we can also, if we need to, adjust it in post production. The sound. So I don't think it'll be too big of a deal.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for the heads
Cool.
up.
Exciting.
Yeah. So are you familiar, David, with how our podcast goes a little bit? Did you get a chance to see?
Honestly, I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance, so I apologize. Don't take it
No,
personally.
no, 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 no. I don't take it personally at all. I mean, we've got like two videos up. So It's not like we've been around, but
Okay.
basically the format is, we're the one podcast. We go where no other podcast is gone. So we really like to go into details on the podcast that haven't been discussed in other podcasts, because
Okay.
for me and our community, we're not a big fan of like just watching the same thing over and over and over. So we don't want to hear the same stories, things like that.
Right.
So one of the things that we open up with on the one podcast is we say, we call it our one question. What is something that you've never shared before on another podcast, that you'd want to share here, or something that you just feel very pressing at the moment to share, or maybe something you shared, but you didn't go deep enough. You want to go a little deeper on that, and it could be anything too. It could be, I actually love to cook. Well, I didn't know that. It doesn't have to be so crazy. Some people are really trying to figure it out, and we're like, you don't have to go so deep. And then at the end, we'll ask one message, which is, if this was going to be your final message to humanity, to the earth, what would be the one message that you'd want to leave to the earth? So
Mhm.
those are the two things we do, and then we wrap it up with a one meditation, believing everything is now. So we just say how we see the world. We just say like things like, we see a world where we're all united, and that just takes a couple of minutes, and everybody doesn't have to participate. But I'll say something, then Ebru might say something. She usually does, and then you can say something, but there's no pressure, for you to say anything. You know,
Sure.
yeah.
I do have something I'd like to talk about.
Okay, please.
The fourth dimension, if you don't mind,
Oh yeah, please,
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
not many people know about it, and we're learning about it in the school, and I'd love to share it so other people can want to get there as well. All
I would love to have you talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Exciting.
right, because that could take a chunk of time, just so you know. So,
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I know you told us you have 2 hours. So
yep,
we wanted to talk with you, and then I know you mentioned channeling Elysium.
yep,
So we did want to talk with them, and then we think we'll have it wrapped up under 2 hours, just so you know. So however long you talk on the fourth dimension, don't feel any type of rush or pressure, because I also feel inside myself too that that's very pertinent to talk about.
for sure. That's where
Yeah,
we're trying to get to.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
that's where all the psychic abilities are essentially.
Great, great. Yeah. And we've also, I don't know if you're familiar with this mantra, but we are living in our highest reality that serves our highest and greatest good every day from here forward. So
It's a
we've
good
we've
one.
added, yeah, we've added that to our business. We've actually got a shirt that says that. That
Really?
it's written out. Yeah, because that's our whole focus for our brand, is to really awaken, remind the world, of its power, of our connection, of our unity to each other, the earth, and just bring it all in. We really feel like it's this time to do this, and so excited to have you,
That's
bro.
great.
I can only keep saying that.
And don't forget at the end, and so it is.
Yeah, and so
Oh
it
yeah.
is. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, and so it is. Yeah.
Never say amen.
Mm,
Oh
thank
wow.
you. Thank you for that.
Amen means take back everything I said energetically.
Oh my God, bro.
Yes.
No, really?
Yes.
And
Wow.
then I have a question too for you, because I mean we haven't technically started the podcast, but how about, because I've heard somebody say they never said what you just said about amen such detail. They just said the right pronunciation is amin. So is it the same thing, amin and amen, or like if you say amin, does that mean take it back too, or is that a whole different word in itself? Are you familiar?
I've never heard of that word before, but what I
Okay.
have heard from a past life of mine, I was an Anunnaki, and I made the word amen for those who were ignorant enough to use it.
Mm,
So a lot of what you'll see with the Anunnaki is, if people are ignorant, then they'll use things that they don't understand, and
yeah.
they'll share it with others, and they don't know and they don't know and they pass it down. But it's essentially a trap word. And no matter how good your blessing is at your table, if you're saying grace or whatever, amen takes it all back.
Wow, bro. And I came up through the Christian church. So, in the Christian church, you can really be, hitting that amen with finality. Amen. Amen. It's
Yeah.
like, so yeah, thank you for that. Oh, my man, this is already starting off great,
I just want to
honestly.
make one thing clear. Is it Ebru? Ebru?
Yeah, yeah. It's April. You said it perfect.
Yeah,
Ebru. Okay.
yeah. Most people will
I
say Hebrew.
apologize if I have some internet issues. I'm actually in a library, so
Oh, okay, great. So we'll try not to make you
yeah.
laugh.
I mean, I'm in a room. I'm okay,
Oh,
but that's
okay,
I'm in a public space. So
okay, great to know.
I'm just turning off my phone and everything.
Yeah, do that.
So I was telling your fiance that I noticed that you're quite conscious, Hebrew.
Yeah, like he told me that, and I was like, "What? What does that mean?" That's actually one of the questions I had too, because that
Okay,
just means like I want to know like how like where did that come from? You know what I mean? And what does it really mean?
sure. We can explain this to the audience, or we can explain it privately. It's up to you. The
Okay.
consciousness scale.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah.
know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't mind honestly. Like we can share. You can tell me now. Like I'm sorry, I'm just too curious right
That's
now.
okay. So consciousness is very complex, but essentially people that are in the fifth, let's say the third point, fifth dimension. This is where the average person in the Western world is. If you look to tribal people, maybe any tribal people anywhere around the world, they might be around 3.0, 3.1 dimension.
Mm,
And when you look to people that maybe they work in a crystal store or they meditate often or they do yoga and they're learning, growing, they're typically 3.6s, 3.7s.
wow.
As you go up the scale, though, you become more entrepreneurial. You become more tapping into the fourth dimensional level of life. And that means your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, your clairgustance, all the clair abilities, telepathy. That's where you start learning to control your timeline and manage your will. So these people are always more, how do I say, like more independent, more
Mm-hmm.
sovereign as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Makes sense.
So
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
Wow, that's great, and it makes a lot of sense too because we'll always Abra will always say I don't feel comfortable with this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It feels normal. I mean, I'm creating scenarios why it might not be weird, and sure enough, it'll come out like this person was lying about something or something like
Mhm.
that. So she's been very spot on with her intuition.
So
yeah, yeah.
I can tell you if you don't mind, Edward, I can see. I'm looking at you as well, good sir.
Mm.
I can just looking at your psychic abilities essentially in your fields.
Wow.
I can see that you're an empath, Ebru.
Yeah.
So that means you feel other people's emotions as your own, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
the
But
first
that
thing she was
means,
told.
yeah, that means she needs more time to herself to recharge because you have these
Hmm.
blue straws that stick out of your aura and they suck
Wow.
up negative energy from people around you. So you need time to transmute that energy or else you get overwhelmed. It typically means that you may have poor self boundaries as well. Empaths typically have poor boundaries, and we typically have to work with self love as well.
Wow. That's powerful. Like, is
Powerful.
that, can I just ask you a question too? Like, is there any exercise that's a good, like, is there anything, empaths is like good for me to do, like to kind of like clear
Yeah.
that energy or just something specific, like a tool or something?
Yeah. You can learn how to cut cords, energetic cords. This is a great exercise for everyone that's an empath in the world to hear. But essentially, every person that you make a connection with, you create an energetic tether to. That's called an entanglement. So whether that's your fiance or whether that's a guy you dated when you were 10 years old or your parents, your friends, everyone you've ever met, you're entangled to. So you can break the entanglements, which won't separate you from that person. Like it won't break up your relationship or anything if you cut that cord. It's actually healthy. If two people in a relationship can stand on their own, but they love each other all the same, they don't need each other. They
Hmm.
want to be with each other.
Hmm.
So the exercise is like this. You close your eyes, take several deep breaths, and you imagine cords going from your chest that look like kind of piano wires, I guess you can say.
Hmm.
And they're going out to all these people in your life. Your hand You can imagine it transforming into a lightsaber if you follow Star Wars.
Hmm.
And your hand cuts through all of these cords, going all the way down your body, all the way down to the bottom of your feet, and then cut the cords going underneath your armpits, all the way down to your feet, and then cut them going all the way down your back.
Mm.
And that will disentangle you from them.
Okay.
And that will
Okay.
help you because energy vampire is very attracted to empaths.
Mm.
Okay.
You have
Good
this
to know.
really bright light. And narcissists and people that want to take are also attracted to empaths as well. So
Wow. Good to know.
Powerful. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Great. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. That's already a
no
heavy
problem.
load right now coming
Yeah.
in. It's not even 1
Sorry.
p.m. No, thank you.
Yeah.
This is what we expected, man. So, I already want this stuff to be on the podcast right now. So we can start whenever you're ready. If you want us to kick it off now, we can. Or if you have any questions for us, let me actually
I'm
update my,
ready.
yeah. And
Can I
also,
ask that we talk Can I
please.
ask that we talk a little bit less about the super soldier program because this happened for me like 10 years ago and it's not that interesting for me anymore. I realize it's interesting for a lot of people, but if you have a lot of questions on that, I prefer to talk about like how we can help humanity, like in real life instead of dwelling on things like that. Giving them practical exercises to help them. This kind of stuff is preferable for me.
Okay, because I just went through your super soldier thing yesterday, bro. It is powerful, man. And you go into so many details. I was telling Ebru about it. And I'm like, man, make sure you listen to this one too, because I mean, it's amazing how much detail you know within that program. Like, it's not like you're like, yeah, kind of, you're like, oh, this was this, that. And then they're asking you another question. You're like, I don't remember that part though. But this part was like this and that. It's like you're just very detailed and like you know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. Powerful.
I agree, but that was 10 years ago and I don't hold on to information for that long is the problem.
Oh, I see.
So if you ask me the same questions, I don't actually remember that well as I used to. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Okay,
But you
great.
can ask if you want.
No, no, no. I'll probably bring it up because I really think people should just see it, and I'll put that video
Mhm.
in the description so they can go deeper into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So thank you for that heads up. And then also, I think we discussed this when I randomly called you the other day that my name is Reginald Trent.
Reginald.
Yeah. So I just don't have it on here because I'm like, we just started the podcast randomly. We just had this feeling to do it, did it. And I'm like, what do I want to go by? Because my parents call me Trent, Abru calls me Reginald. So, you know, I'm just still figuring it out. The main thing was just making the one podcast live.
What do I call you on this?
It doesn't
Like
matter. People have called me both names, so I'm not a,
Reginald?
yeah, that'll work too. Yeah,
Reginald. Okay.
yeah.
Also,
And
Um,
before
I can't guarantee that the being channeled would remember. Sorry.
okay, no worries.
can I just ask you a
Go
question,
ahead,
David?
Eb.
Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about if I ask a question about magic, do you want to talk about that, or is there like a topic you don't want to talk about?
Oh, we can talk about magic a lot
Okay, great.
if you want.
Great.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, I just don't want to bring up something that you should feel like, no, that's not really because I could understand that you don't really channel Anunnaki anymore.
Mhm.
And and then, we just don't want to go deep into the topic if there's something where you feel like, no, that's not really what I want to go into.
I appreciate it. And we'll talk about this, but the energy of the dragons is connected to magic. But I think it's fine to talk about magic. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Great.
great.
Awesome. And then you're taking us into Elysium. Eber was the one who told me about a movie called Elysium about
Oh,
a
yes.
ship. Is this the same thing or
No,
entity?
no.
Okay, okay. So wow. Yeah, you
This
got
is
that
a
little.
tit this is
Okay.
a titan,
Okay.
one of the beings that created our reality.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Okay.
So this is way above the Anunnaki. This is like in the beginning of time there was the one, and the one created the primordials and the titans and other celestial beings like angels. These guys are in the beginning.
Wow. Wow. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing them on in.
Totally.
Yes. Yeah. So are you guys ready to get this thing started?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the One Podcast, where we go where no other podcast has gone before. Today, we are truly excited to bring on this next guest to you. As you guys know, we've been taking you down a series of things, not only telling you that you're God, but we've been showing you the remarkable things that your bodies can do, such as going out of your body through controlled near-death experiences by our previous guests. Now we're getting ready to show you some more things that you can do with your body. And this individual, I've watched this individual since last year during my awakening experience, and truly wonderful individual, not just in channeling, but just already in our time to being able to speak with him briefly before this podcast. It's just been a wonderful opportunity for us to be awakened through his many channelings, one of which was the Anunnaki, which literally slapped me silly, and really set me on a course to understand more of this reality that we're in. So I'm really excited to go in with this next individual into deeper topics that have never been discovered on any other podcast before. And I want to welcome you, David Lotherington. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We love you so much, bro. You've been just a large part of our awakening experience. And I know I've watched you in another podcast, I believe, say that your awakening happened around 30 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know how your awakening process happened, but if you did have those people that were a part of your awakening process, it's like those people are just so special to you. So you really are very special to us, dear to our heart. And
Thank you.
yeah, you superbly woke up Ebru
Oh,
with just a week or 2 weeks ago. Your Anunnaki channeling clicked for her, and she really was like, "Wow, this is what this whole system is kind of set up as." And I've had a chance to go deep into your Super Soldier program, just learning about even the Super Soldier program even existed. I learned about that through the Jeff Mara podcast, and then to have you see you and have you know that you've gone through it has just been amazing. So, everyone at the One Podcast, we already have an idea, a general idea of who you are, because we're already kind of immersed in this world. So, with us, we like to go where no other podcast has gone before. And so, with that, we like to open up with one question that we ask everyone. We call it our one question, and that's
Sure.
if there's something that you've never shared before on any other podcast that you'd like to share with our audience.
Everything I'm going to share today has never been shared with any other audience.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So this is going to be fun. This is really going to be fun. And then as I mentioned to you all that the amazing things of the human body, um, David will be taking us into a channel session. And this, I mean, when I've seen David channel, it's amazing because it's like you can just see that he's dealing with another personality type. So I would like to start with David. Where were you born? Were you, because I listened to your Super Soldier program. Were you born in San Diego or
No, I
um
was I was born in Sydney, Nova Scotia, in
okay, so
Canada.
okay, great, great.
Yeah, on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
Okay. So
A
far,
very, very quiet place, an island. It's like a little village, essentially.
yeah. I feel like I've heard of a bank from Nova Scotia, like somewhere I don't know if it's Nova Scotia Bank, but
Scotiabank.
okay, yeah, because I'm another part of the world hearing about Nova Scotia. Yeah, so that's great. And then so is that your last name Lotherington? Is that Canadian?
That's an English name, yeah.
Okay, English
Lotherington.
name. Okay, yeah. I thought that. And how did you pronounce it? Lotherington?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you for correcting me.
it's all good.
Um, yeah. So, Eber, did you have any question that you wanted to ask David before we
no,
go?
I just wanted to get started with the question, like that one question, we start off with. So I'm very excited to go into that.
Yeah. And I know you wanted to talk to us about the fourth dimension, which is
Yeah.
something that's very pertinent to talk about. So, and like you said, this stuff has never been shared or talked about by you on any other podcast. So, we're extremely excited to hear more about that if you don't mind sharing.
I don't mind at all.
Thank you.
So there's a lot to talk about with the subject. If I miss a few points, I apologize, but there is a lot to this. Whenever you're learning about the fourth dimension, you're learning about something that's quantum. And whenever you're learning about quantum, it's going to take a little while to understand it. It's like a giant pool of information. And all I can say through my words is one word at a time. So it takes a long time to explain something that's massive, just one point of data at a time, essentially.
Wow.
So, what is the fourth dimension? Well, to begin, we need to talk a little bit about consciousness. Most humans exist within the third dimensional range. So, I mentioned to Eb earlier that most people are around 3.5 dimensional. Psychic people are typically 3.7, 3.8, or up. And this represents how high they can reach with their consciousness. So this is a flexibility of their consciousness. When people are able to tap into higher dimensions, they're able to tap into higher dimensional abilities. You mentioned earlier on the podcast that we are God, and I believe that to be true. And you're tapping into fourth dimensional aspects of yourself through entanglement. And this allows you to become this fourth dimensional God version of yourself. You're just tapping into it for the moment. But this is where your psychic abilities are at. So your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairempathy, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairgustance, clairtangency, clairalience, all of these are ways that you perceive your reality. And so that means that if you're a fourth dimensional human, you have all of the third dimensional abilities like smell, sight, taste, touch, and sound. But you also have these other psychic abilities I just mentioned as well on top of that. So you are more complex as a being. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in the fourth dimension. And I'd love to help everyone listening to become a fourth dimensional human. It is a process that takes some time. You'll have to let go of old versions of yourself, limited versions of yourself that are programmed and conditioned to be limited, to have a small mindset on certain things in your life, whether that be financial or self-love or no boundaries or small amount of boundaries in your life, to bad things in your life, or you allow lots of negative people into your life. All of these things are so important to help you to elevate into the fourth dimension.
Wow.
Yeah, powerful. Powerful. So are there anything that we can do to help take us into that dimension?
This is a reminder. It's 111.
111. All right. Yes. So the first thing I would recommend is begin to control your diet. In the beginning, when I was channeling the gods, they would tell me that you need to clean yourself out. And I didn't know what that meant. So I did like a 3-day fast and I felt better. And I usually had like big spurts of growths after my fast. But they would tell me to fast after I received an attunement from a master here or there. But I didn't fully understand it. Now, they gave me a diet that can help many, many, many people. It's called the Primark diet. And it is composed of 75% meat, just single ingredient items, okay? It is, let's just see. There's two variants of the diet. One of them is 90% meat, 5% berries, and 5% root vegetables. That's Primark B. And Primark A is 70%, I hope I get this right, meat, and then like 20% vegetable, 5% berry, and 5% root vegetable, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the diet. No processed foods permitted. When you're drinking water, so you have low sugars in your body. And I have like a PDF with all of these stuff listed on it. But anyway, the purpose of it will get you into shape. Like your body will lose a lot of weight if you're eating clean, single ingredient foods and drinking clear water, which is non-fluorinated water, non-chlorinated if you can as well. Spring water is preferable. And what this does over time is you'll become more and more sensitive to toxins, which sounds like a burden rather than a boon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because you're becoming more conscious and your nervous system is awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the nervous system is very important because your soul is entangled to your nervous system and it needs your nervous system to come in more. So when we're having an
Wow.
ascension, sorry, I keep going.
No, please go. I'm just
Very
like, wow.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy for this episode for our viewers.
Thank you.
Thank
So when
you.
you're having an ascension, more of your soul is coming into your body. This is why you gain more psychic abilities, you gain more awareness, you start questioning everything in your life, like how did I even survive before this moment? That is the awakening because there's more soul in your body, which means there's more God in you, which means you're more powerful. So this is why you have greater perceptions. You might be seeing the future or seeing auras or uh, hearing songs pop into your head out of nowhere, and these are messages from spirits. So that's
Wow.
just the beginning.
Yeah, wow. So how long should you go on that diet, or is that now just the new diet a person has to be on?
You don't have to be on that diet specifically, but I recommend that you go on a diet that has single ingredient items only. Do not
Mhm.
consume processed foods if you can. There's so
Okay.
many. So one of the Anunnaki, they talk about the filth of humanity, and that is chemicals in our food.
Mm, wow.
So
Wow. So this is so with this diet, it's
that
not
is
like a
incredibly important to not be consuming things with colors and dyes and preservatives.
hmm powerful. And
Seems
so
like my internet's not the best.
yeah, no, it's fine. As long as we got you here, it's going great. So yeah,
All right.
it looks like there might be just a slight
Oh,
delay,
did you have a
but
question?
yes. And I wanted to ask within the question was with this diet, is this like a 3-week diet, a 30-day diet, or is this a lifestyle diet, like a lifestyle change diet?
This is a lifestyle diet, but within 3 months, your body's going to transform.
Okay.
But
Okay,
if you
great.
truly
Great.
stay on the diet, your sensitivity will go up. So the diet was initially given to me for people that have hybrid bloodlines, specifically more reptilian bloodlines, because reptilians need to consume more meat in general.
Mm, okay, great. And then also, you went through your awakening, as we mentioned earlier, at 30. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about within your awakening process, like how it happened, or just anything related to that?
There's certain moments that stand out in my life, but really, I think trauma was the catalyst for me. It was like awaken or get crushed. I was
Mm,
actually with a woman at the time, and she wasn't the best woman. She had
mm,
borderline personality disorder.
mm.
And anyway, she actually showed me a picture of a planet on YouTube, and I was like, and it had something to do with aliens in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? That's so cool. This planet's just like Earth. And it was just a small thing, but it triggered something in me. And then I was working in pharmacy at the time, and then I eventually uh, started doing my own research on channeling because I thought that was the most interesting thing in the world for me. And then I stumbled into Super Soldier Talk on
hmm
the YouTube. It was a wonderful guy run by James Rink. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my world right now. This is the most cool thing to me right now
hmm
in my life. And I
Yeah.
just couldn't get enough of it. So that was my awakening. That's when I started looking at myself and my situation. And my awareness went up enough to see how crappy my life actually was at that moment.
Yeah, powerful. And then did you have people guide you through that process, or were you kind of just on your own? What led you into like this world of channeling, knowing your past lives? How did you really kind of come into David Lotherington?
That's a great question. So I never really had a mentor, but I did have people that I was a fan of. One of them was Jim Charles or James Charles. He's a
Okay.
channeler for OOLA. And
Okay.
I was with them for about a year and a half. They channel galactics quite a bit. And wonderful channeler, James is. And I would get a message once in a while, and they would say, "You're going to be just like him when you're older." And I didn't quite understand what that meant. because I wasn't a channeler at the time. I wasn't an energy healer at the time, but now I am 10 years later. So,
Great. That's very powerful. So I also have a question. So like, so when you used to channel Anunnakis, right?
yeah,
And then so who are you channeling right now? It's not Anunnakis anymore?
that's true. I channeled the White Titan. Their name is Elysium.
Great.
Yeah.
And who, like, can you tell us a little bit more about Elysium?
Yes. I mean, they identify as an angel. So in the beginning, there was the prime creator. This is the story that we're told in the Federation of Light, in my business, which is a school essentially. That in the beginning, there's the prime creator, and they created all things, but they needed beings to help them to create, to make life more exciting, essentially. They created the primordials and the titans. And the titans, there are many games besides just the 9 dimensions that we're in. So one of these games is called Elysium, and this is a place of unity where everything is one, darkness and light. However, we live in a place called Quintarax, and I learned that through channeling, and this is a place of duality. This is why we have Michael and Lucifer, and they are the yin and yang of each other essentially, and everything is essentially divided here. Now, this division originally, Elysium is one unified field. The dragons saw that this was the most beautiful thing ever. It's the most appealing thing ever. We want it for ourselves, but we want our version of it. So they convinced the primordials and the titans to create a reality which was a replica of Elysium. And then they began to corrupt it. The dragons divided, not just Anunnaki, but sun dragons and other higher forms of consciousness beyond that. They typically are hydras and beyond the 7th and 8th dimension. But they divided reality so gods could experience suffering, torment, pain, and the lower frequencies and vibrations. And some titans wanted to play that game. So they joined the game, and they were trapped in a place called Tartarus because of this. So there's a lot that I'm leaving out because it's a very, very big story. But essentially, primordials are the beings that come before the elements were created. They created the elements.
Wow.
Now, the elements are the building block to our reality. What you're perceiving is a holographic reality. It's made out of the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. In the 4th dimension, it's made out of something called void. Now, all of these create our perception, and without them, we would not have perception.
Powerful. Wow. Wow, that's powerful. This is definitely a learning lesson. This is very, very powerful. I have a question too. Did you have another question, Ebru?
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
you can go ahead. You can
Okay.
just,
Yeah, because I had just recently watched one of David's interviews, so I didn't want us to just switch back and forth to such detail, and then also his personal life. But I did just have a question about your personal life as well, David, because I
Sure.
know that you mentioned in an interview that you were the black sheep of the family and things like that.
Mhm.
So I did want to know, and I was curious to wonder how is your relationship dynamic with your family, like with your supernatural abilities and skills? Are they seeing it from that perspective? Are they spiritual as well, or are you still the black sheep?
I'd say I'm still the black sheep, but I was very separated from them for a time, just because I'm very different from them. I would say they're
Hmm.
NPCs, completely NPCs.
Hmm.
They they're very simple people, let's just say. No offense to them, of course. My mom has a little bit of awakenedness
Hmm.
to her.
Yeah.
She questions like, "So what are you doing? Like what's your profession?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm an energy healer. I do psychic surgery." She's like, "Okay, that's enough for me for now."
Yeah.
And if I mention anything of this to my dad, he'll just keep clicking the channel on the TV. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, exactly. I've noticed that too in my awakening. My family's more become open. I feel like having that spirituality, that Christianity basis,
Mhm.
has been kind of helpful, but at the same time, it kind of has I don't want to say kept the door shut, because my dad, me and him meet every Sunday for these things we call King's calls, and I noticed when I talk to him, normally he would be kind of like, I don't want to hear that type of stuff, like just focus on what's real. But now he's just kind of like looking at me, like he'll give me the floor the whole time and just let me speak when I'm like, because my dad's former military, so I'm like, Dad, did you know there's military people doing this? And I've sent him a couple of things, and so I think he's very much more awakened than he's probably ever been, So
Amazing.
yeah, I was curious, to know.
If they're listening and if they have any attention span and they're listening, then that's amazing for you. That means
Yeah.
that they're actually open to change. But like for my father, like he'll just turn the television on and he'll turn it up even, I'm like, I'm in mid conversation with you, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
It's like they
Exactly.
have zero attention span for this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're still a kid having fun. Yeah.
So,
So
so
yeah.
if I want to, because for me, the the biggest thing for me was just watching one of your videos when you were telling the Anunnaki, and I feel like that was the moment where I feel like it clicked for me, or just something happened. And I have been like try to talk to my parents too about this, and like they don't really understand, and I had to translate into Turkish too at the same time, and I'm trying to
Ah,
understand it too. And so is there something like how can you like tell people about this? You know what I mean? Like what can you do to like help people like be awake more?
well, that's the challenge, really. What I've learned is only 10% of the population is permitted to be awake at any time.
Mm.
So things like podcasts, this is how you awaken people, really. I'm teaching the material to a group of people in a more private space currently because if you continuously have new people coming in, then they always ask new people questions, right? But some of the people in the school have been there for 5 years. We've really got deep with the secrets of the universe, what happens after you die. Uh, we learned all about the Matrix. We're learning about alchemy, magic, and lots of wonderful fun things. So yeah. So how do you help people? You have to realize in the beginning that no matter how much you know about the super soldier program or consciousness or whatever, not everyone's ready to hear it.
Hmm.
And we have to be able to control our ego because your ego says, I know this and I'm going to share it with you, or I want to share it with you. And if you don't listen, then you're an idiot. But we
Hmm.
have to know that we plant seeds in this business and the seed has to grow.
Mm.
So you share an idea with someone. If they're not open to it, then you back up or you just stop completely with that person. If they're interested, then in a week, maybe you talk to them a little bit more about it. So it takes time to grow a plant. You can't just dump all the information of the universe on someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And it reminds me of, like I was deep into Christianity, and I still value a lot of the messages, in the Bible. And what you just said reminded me of one of the things that Paul says in the Bible when he's talking about spreading the ministry, is he's saying one person sows and another person waters, like the seed. So it's like understanding that we're all kind of collectively in this together, you know, plant the seed, but don't get too caught up in the dumping of just trying to transform somebody right away. But trusting that, we're all connected, and somebody else, when it's not all on you. Somebody else can do the watering, and you can later do the watering, but it's a collective, connectivity to this person's awakening.
I like to think of it kind of like this. Like in the beginning, when you're first awakening, you're like a caterpillar. You just consume, consume, consume as much material as you can get your hands on.
Hmm.
You might
Yeah.
be interested in galactics. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you're just into spiritual stuff, or maybe you're not interested in that. You're just interested in, I lost my train of thought. Actually, Elysium was just talking to me. Um, so you might be interested in galactics or super soldiers or spirituality, right? Like there's a lot of different directions that this goes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And some people are into one, some people are into all three of them, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it really depends on your audience. But eventually the caterpillar gets enough food. That means they've learned enough, they feel like they're ready for transformation. And when that happens, they enter into this chrysalis. This chrysalis is kind of a dark night of the soul. It's where you're transforming your old belief systems into new belief systems. You're shedding your old friends, you're meeting new friends that are more suited to your new lifestyle, your new mindset. Um, anyway, once you eventually emerge from this chrysalis, which is like a cocoon, then you become the butterfly. The butterfly is free and they have all the knowledge that they need. They are the teachers of spirituality and they shed that information to the caterpillars.
Mm.
That is a beautiful analogy. I've never actually heard anybody use that analogy. You would think that you would hear it more. I'll start using it. Thank you, David.
I don't I don't think I created it, but maybe I did. So that is
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, it's beautiful. This is the first time I've heard it. So thank you very much for sharing. And I know you mentioned Elysium was talking to you now. Were they wanting to come in right now or?
They're listening to the whole podcast so far.
Okay.
So they're ready to jump in whenever you're ready.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, we still wanted to talk with you about the if you had one message, when we go through the
Oh, yeah.
the fundamental, and maybe we can share the one meditation at the end when you come back from Elysium, if that's better.
Sure.
Um,
I'm typically disassociated afterwards for a period of time, maybe like
yeah.
5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
So
So,
perhaps we'll channel until the end, and then you can do your guided meditation.
okay.
And,
Great.
and before that, we can do whatever you want with me.
Okay. Great. 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 Yeah. So, we can begin to. I mean, there's so much we want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
I know Eber wanted
Go
to
ahead.
talk a little bit about magic.
Yeah,
Um,
because I was watching one of your videos and you were mentioning talking a little bit about magic and it was just like very interesting. So definitely would like to hear a little bit more about that because some people might think like people don't believe in magic or it might sound like stupid when you talk about it, but just watching your videos and watching other, YouTube videos, it just make me like this is like amazing. You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody should know more about magic. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So magic isn't deception, or it's not parlor tricks like pulling cards and stuff like this. That's deception magic, I'd say. And a lot of magic is dark. But what we practice in the school is not dark forms of magic. A lot of people use this is going to be an earmuff moment. I don't want to get too dark for your channel. So,
please,
but
please.
but people use Lucifer and sacrifice for dark magic. And this is in the Hollywood industry and in the music industry, etc. The big corporate conglomerate, let's say, uses that form of magic. We use exalted magic and higher self magic in the school. So instead of giving our power to someone else, we draw power from the source, which is ourself. Now, when you learn more about unity, you learn that you are the powerful one. And whenever you reach outside yourself for something, you believe that you're not powerful enough, or you're not capable enough, or you're not knowledgeable enough. So this is why know thyself is so important. We need to find out who we are and we can access our power. So how to begin? How do you begin with mana, a magic? You need to begin by drawing in mana into your chakras. So you can actually draw mana. Uh, let's just say this. Mana is fifth dimensional. It exists in all the layers of creation. So from 0 to ninth dimension. There's 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 0 0.3, all the way up to 9.0, okay? These fields you can tap into, and it helps if you have some dragon DNA or a little bit of Anunnaki DNA. It helps because they are interdimensional or multidimensional beings that they just naturally have these connections. They can just change the frequency more readily and more easily. So in the Federation, we gather mana in our root chakra, this grounds the energy, because when you're connecting to higher dimensional energies, there can be chaotic factors that are pulled with the mana. I just realized this is a lot of information if you've never heard any of this before.
Yeah, this is great for us.
Great.
Okay, good. So as you're drawing from higher dimensions, you pull from the highest dimension that you can pull from. Ultimately, you want to access source, which is called exalted mana. But if you can't get there, then you get as high as you can get. You might be in the fields, the dragon fields, let's just say. This is like dragon energies. Anunnaki are dragons. This is something no one has ever talked about before, but I don't want to dwell too much on the Anunnaki. But they are dragons, 100%. I've seen them many, many, many times for 5 years. So,
Wow.
yes. So once you fill up your root chakra with mana, you'll notice that your chakras are a little bit like an ice cube tray. When you pour water into the ice cube tray, and it will trickle up into your sacral chakra. And then slowly you keep filling up your root chakra, it fills up your solar plexus, and then eventually your heart chakra. Some people can't charge past the heart chakra. These people are mage, and if they can charge up to the throat, the third eye, the crown chakra, these are archmage. So they can, with every chakra that you go up, it's 10 times more potent. Your magic will be stronger. So you want to charge up all of your chakras. Once you charge up all your chakras, you get a release word. So your guides will have to give you a release word. And whatever your release word is, you say it in an incantation form with the programming and coding of what you want. And then you release that into reality, into the matrix. And that essentially is a wish. That is what a wish is.
Powerful. And then, David, when it comes to bringing this mana into the root chakra, going to the next chakra, how do you know when the root chakra is full and then you're elevating to that next chakra phase?
That's a great question. Depending on your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, whatever's strongest for you, that's how you're going to interpret this information, how much is in your root chakra. For me, I see this golden droplet of light. So it begins like it looks like mercury, but it's gold. And then eventually that pool gets larger and larger and larger in my root chakra. But I also feel a sense of fullness at the same time. It's a very odd sensation to have a full feeling in your root chakra, because usually, your belly gets full, but the base of your spine doesn't really get full that often.
Wow.
So that's how I know. But you can ask your guides, what percentage am I charged up in my root chakra? If you have clairvoyance, you can look at it. If you have clairaudience, you can hear your guides. If you have clairsentience, you can feel the energy in your field. So depending on your clairability, this determines how you're going to perceive it.
Okay, great. Wow, that's powerful. Yeah, because I've heard of different meditations where you kind of are to move through your different chakras. So I was always curious of just how can you know when to move to the next, and so that was great to just know that you can actually feel a real sensation, like you said, of being full.
Yes, you can. Some people will, and some people won't, of course. Some people will just always see it. They may never feel it. Or some people
Yeah.
will always just hear from their guides that will tell them how much they have. They'll never see it or they'll never feel it. And some people will experience all three of these.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yep.
And then what did you have a question, Ebru?
No, no, you
Okay.
can go.
Yeah, one other question too, David, that I wanted to ask was you've touched on it a little bit, but I don't know if you wanted to go into it a little bit more deeper, but it's about the Federation of Light. We'll have everything down in the description as well. But what does it take to be a part of that? Do you have to be, like you said, new people can come in, so it doesn't sound like you have to be fully awakened in the sense of like already maybe activated in your spiritual gifts and abilities. But I don't know that for sure. It just sounds like that's the case.
Sure. And after this, we could talk about the fourth dimension a bit more because there's a lot more that needs to be shared.
Please.
Okay. So the Federation of Light originally was the House of El. It's evolved into the Federation of Light as I've changed as a person and I've made new connections with the gods. They have their own pantheons of teachers. Anyway, it branded eventually into the Federation of Light. Initially, it was a place where people like myself or naturally healers, empaths, other psychic people could join to practice with each other, to learn, and to exchange information so we have a sense of community with each other. That's the purpose of it. So it's a safe place that you can go that's ethical and light oriented that you can go to grow and learn from the gods. So the people in the Federation, I channel 2 days a week for the school. So on Sundays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And I channel the gods, whoever is coming through. So they'll typically come through in themes. But so the people are educated by the gods on Sundays and Wednesdays, which is really fun. It makes you learn a lot of stuff. And you guys are able to ask questions, any question you want, really, as long as it's not a personal question. We try to stay away from personal questions because that doesn't help humanity. So we stay away from that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, sounds like our type of school, our type of energy, man. Being trained by the gods is just like it's our vibration.
Right on. So
That's
yeah, we have a
awesome.
3-month mentorship program essentially,
Hmm.
where we go over the basics with you. And if you're more advanced and you want to go through the mentorship, we'll just amp it up for you. So it begins by healing your field. We'll remove any possessions or implants, any energy blockages that are preventing you from manifesting what you want into your life. We'll teach you about your guides, how to talk to them, perhaps even get you some names of your guides. We'll teach you how to establish healthy boundaries, how to cut cords with energy vampires. Um, it's 3 months of training, so it's a lot of information, but eventually you'll graduate with an adept point, and then you can begin your journey in the Federation, which is, we have 3 levels: initiate, adept, and master level. If you're in 7 points, you become an adept. You're in 7 more, you become a master. But these are called the trials of L. And these are challenges that you go through life as you go through life. In some of the tasks, you have to prove your psychic ability to earn that point.
Mm.
In other ways, it's helped the Federation in different ways, whether it's through administrative work or whatever.
Okay, great. And then when you say you have to prove things through psychic abilities, is this like, pick a number 1 through 10 that's in my head type of thing, or?
Uh, well, kind of, sort of. That would be like telepathy, essentially. That's what we're working on. We also
Okay,
teach telepathy class on Mondays.
okay,
So you can get a telepathy certificate. You'll have to get 9 out of 10 correct in order to earn your
wow,
telepathy certification.
powerful.
Yeah, but you can get an energy healing competency. So you'll have to do 10 free healing sessions to your community. They'll sign
Mhm.
this thing that says you did it, and then they'll send it to me. I'll go over it at the end. I ask you some questions to make sure you really know your stuff. And then if you know your
Yeah.
stuff, you get your add-up point.
Powerful, powerful. And then you yourself, David, you do things such as psychic surgery. Am I using the right word? Is that the right
Yeah.
words? Okay, psychic surgery. And how when did you start into that, and how does that actually work? Is somebody like booking a session with you and then sort of just like this, and then you're just kind of seeing the same things that you saw with Ebru earlier before?
Yeah, it's so in the beginning, I was a Reiki practitioner, and once I found Reiki, so before that, I had a lot of jobs, but I was a paramedic, and then I
Mhm.
wasn't getting enough out of that. I got into pharmacy. I didn't like the pill idea. I wanted to cure the problem. I didn't want to just treat the symptoms.
Wow.
So I took Reiki, and with every attunement that I received, my psychic abilities became stronger and my awareness went up, and I was like, okay, there's something to this. So I kept working on people more and more and more. And as I cleared the clients, I cleared myself as well. And eventually there was this lady, she came in and she said, David, I'm seeing a tiger. What does that mean? And I said, I really don't know much about spirit animals. But 3 clients after her also had visions. And I realized at that point that I wasn't doing Reiki anymore. I had evolved beyond Reiki because I was starting to see auras. I was starting to see their guides and be able
Mm.
to talk to their guides. I was seeing implants and entities and a lot of different things in a person's field that were out of balance. That's when it kind of evolved into more of a psychic surgery. And then eventually I started to open up the chakras, remove any debris, from the chakras. It might be like something that killed you in a past life, or maybe something that's entangled to you that can cause problems or blockages in your life. So there's a lot of things that can mess up your manifestation. Anyway, psychic surgery is essentially getting into the field, looking at the chakras closely, and identifying problems and removing them from the system.
Powerful, powerful. Yeah, that's amazing. It really is.
Interesting. I know
Yeah.
you talked about earlier that you want to talk a little bit about more the fourth dimension.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I'm so,
exciting. I want to talk more about that.
yeah, let's do it. So one important thing, if you want to enter into the fourth dimension, the first thing I mentioned was your diet. Eat a clean diet. Very, very important. Drink clean water. The next thing is you'll want to manage your timeline. So timeline and karma work together. The average person, let's say, just because there's infinite timelines, I'm just going to give a number for the top and a number for the bottom so it makes sense. Let's say 1 million is the top and 0 is the bottom. And the average person lives their life in the 500,000 range. If you have good karma, you'll be above the 500,000 range somewhere throughout your life, kind of go in and out of this, typically. If you have bad karma, you'll probably be below 500,000. Now, you can actually control your timeline, though. So controlling your timeline allows you to change what reality has in store for you by using your will to control what timeline you're going to be in. And this allows you to live your best life, and you are in control of that. This is part of being a god yourself. Instead of giving your power to other beings outside of yourself, you have control over your timeline. So another part of this is controlling your will. Your will is extraordinarily important, and when you learn more about magic, you're going to learn more about will, because will is, let's just say, magic is the ability to change your reality, and will is the ability to manifest your reality, let's just say. So it's pretty much the same thing. Will equals magic, and magic equals power. The ability to make change is power, right? So your will is very important to manage. You have a million things every day telling you, buy this coffee. This is the best hamburger in the world. Buy this car, get this education. This is what beauty is, right? All these things, they're all trying to guide your timeline. They're all trying to take your will and control it. Now, you only have a certain amount of will every day. So you have to use your will and think about, all right, start mapping out your life a little bit better. What am I going to do today? What are the goals I'm going to accomplish today? How about 1 week? How about 1 month? How about 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road? Where do I want to be? And that uses your will to control your timeline. They work together to bring you what you want. But you'll have to remove the distortions from your chakras, which create instability in your manifestations. That's why I do the psychic surgery. It kind of clears your system out. So there's no distortions in what you want.
Wow. So in order, like, let's say I want to manifest something, so I had to clear that out first out of my system, and then, like, if a person want to manifest something, is that like magic you're gonna use, or like how do you really do that if you want to manifest something? Like, what's the
Right.
first thing?
So there's passive manifestation. That's what everyone uses to get what they want. I want $1 million. That's passive manifestation. So this is using the magic of Earth. This is third dimensional magics, essentially. Third and fourth and fifth dimensional magics. But this is lower dimensional. In each dimension, things manifest faster and faster and faster. And in the highest dimensions, things manifest instantly. However, because we're third dimensional, we're responsible for, there's more stairs on the staircase to get what you want. So you'll have to do like 20 things to become a millionaire. You'll have to learn like 20 things, let's just say, for an example. But there's many things you want to manifest. Instant manifestation, I'm sure it's possible. I haven't done it yet myself, but I've gotten pretty darn close on some occasions. But is that fate? Is that just coincidence? It's hard to say, but we are measuring things in magic class, rather. But it's the science. that we have to study further in order to get the best records.
Okay.
Great, great. And was there anything else that you wanted to discuss, David, too, within the fourth dimension as well?
Yeah.
Okay, please, yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
so being in the fourth dimension means you have full access to your psychic arsenal, let's just call it. All humans are born with psychic abilities. All humans, except for humans with, let's say, mental disabilities or perhaps chemical imbalances in the brain where the brain is just not functioning properly. What happens is we typically are psychic until around 7 years old. If you have ever had an imaginary friend and you're seeing them, then you have clairvoyance. If you can hear them talking to you, then you have clairaudience. Okay. If you can feel their emotions, then you're an empath or clairempathy. So that's just a few indicators. Like you can ask your child to draw out what they see as their guides. And if they draw this blue, tall blue being, it's probably not a human. It's probably not a deceased human anyway. So anyway, get to know what your psychic abilities are. I'll try not to bounce around too much because there's a lot of information to share. So typically around 7 years old, children lose their psychic abilities. This is because of programming and conditioning by the parents. They say, well, you don't want your friends to think that you're crazy, do you? And the child sees crazy as bad. They don't want to be bad, so they shut down their third eye and they lose their intuitive abilities. But if you're born with something and you lose it, then you're disabled, in my eyes. You have a disability. So it's important that humans heal themselves. So all humans should be intuitive, in my eyes. It's normal for humans to be intuitive. If we're born that way, then it's the way it's supposed to be. So nourishing the psychic abilities through telepathy, through psychic exercises that you can practice with your children, or it doesn't matter what age you are, you can practice these. But a child will learn the same lessons that an adult will learn to wake up their psychic abilities. So yeah, that's something. So learn all about your clair abilities. Which ones do you have? Which ones aren't very strong? So with the clair abilities, you're going to have one primary clair, and then you might have two minor clairs. That's typically the way. And then the rest you may never experience. But if you have your major clair and you get it really strong, your two minor clairs might begin to become major clairs, and then you'll have a few other clairs popping up that are minors. So if you flush out all your clair abilities, eventually you'll just be a fully fledged psychic human.
Wow.
So that's one part of it.
Wow. Powerful.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of detail, like you mentioned, regarding the fourth dimension situation. What are your thoughts? I don't want to assume that you're aware, but I don't know if you've heard about in the news about the three-eye atlas.
I have not heard of this.
Okay, yeah, this is this thing that is coming into our solar system. It's supposed to be here this month. They initially were trying to say it was a comet, but it has zero characteristics or attributes of a comet. Like it's slowing down, speeding up, and other channelers have been channeling it and are saying that it's intelligent. So recently, a Harvard scientist just came out on the news. The news hasn't really been talking about this, but a Harvard scientist just came out on a news channel and just said this is actually, it has a high probability of being intelligent. That I think they're saying like even as they're seeing it come closer now, as it's getting closer, that it's not making sense on any other comet, asteroid, the history that we've been documenting this stuff. It's also emitted like a light that is just sent to Mars and it's getting ready to go behind the sun.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you knew, and that's why I didn't want to assume, but I'm definitely interested in asking Lithium as well about this.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I think I may have heard a couple months ago that there was something that might not be an asteroid in the sky, but that's
Yes.
about it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So like you said, a couple months ago, now that it's getting closer, they're seeing like like just the characteristics don't make sense. I think they can, I want to say they said it's something crazy like 300 tons now. It's this huge thing that they thought was a little bit smaller, and it's covered in certain gases that don't exist, and like the materials it's made out of shouldn't be together, like it's
Mhm.
just it's very unusual type of anomaly, and it's checking all the boxes for being intelligent. So
Cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited.
I I think that when humans find something that's actually intelligent, they're going to be shocked
Yeah,
because
yeah.
humans really do believe that they're the smartest beings in perhaps reality
Yeah.
itself.
Hmm.
Um, when you speak to a higher dimensional being, you'll realize, like, oh my gosh, like, there's so much more intelligence out there.
Yes, yes. And this is one of the reasons why during our awakening, it was like, man, I'm not trying to listen to just any human being. I want some advanced, intelligent information. So that's why the channeling community was just so prevalent to my waking up, and continues to be so, because it's like it's an amazing human technology that we have in these bodies that, are allowing you to be like a cell phone antenna to
Pretty
just
much.
dial up. Yeah. And we're able to have a communication through, David Lotherington,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
100%.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. Yeah. Did you have anything else, David, that you want to talk about in the fourth dimension? Because we want you to go as deep as you want to go, not feel limited. But once you're finished, we'll go into Elysium.
Yeah, I think there's more stuff, but this is important stuff that you should start to do in your life. Control your
Hmm.
will, control your time, control your body. You
Hmm.
should have control over yourself and the people that are in your life as well. Don't surround yourself with bad people. You'll feel terrible all the time. You'll need to have self-control. So, and especially when it comes to your will, if you keep following the Matrix, it is built by a dragon. One of the dragons, Anu, Tiamat, and the Smith created the Matrix. These are two of these are dragons, okay? Anunnaki. Um, yeah, Tiamat's a coatl, but anyway, that's just a type of Anunnaki. I don't want to talk about the species too much, but their IQ is like 8 to 900. Okay,
Wow.
they
Wow.
created Earth in their image. This means if you want to survive, you need to struggle and you need to overcome struggle. And if that's what they want you to experience, that's what you're going to experience. So, this is why this game of life is so hard. It's relentless. You have to be strong, capable, and powerful in order to survive in this game. And if you're weak, you get broken, essentially. And it's terrible that that's the case, but this is the world that we're living in, unfortunately. And yeah, blame that on the gods.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because go ahead, Ebru, please.
How do you get out of that though? 3D reality, like to control more of that so you don't feel like you have to be in this 3D, like the Matrix and struggle and stuff like that. How do you get out of that?
You get out of it by getting into yourself. How do I explain that better? You enter the fourth dimension. This is how you get out of that. Because there's a perception that you're going to have as long as you're in the third dimensional octave of experience. However, once you enter the fourth dimensional octave, you change, but as a reflection of your change, your reality also changes. So that people in the world, oh, there's more electric cars now, and there's more solar panels, and the world has free energy now, or better policies in government, or your world around you just gets better as part of that manifestation. If you're able to make it to the fifth dimension, that's another octave higher than the fourth, and your world just gets better with every dimension that you go up. So this is why I'm recommending that humans endeavor to reach the fourth dimension.
Okay. So it really starts within yourself. Like go inside yourself. Okay.
Yes. Know thyself.
Yeah. And this for me is such a beautiful thing too, with what we're doing with One Brand, and reminding humanity of our divine connection to self, each other, and our shared planet, because there's a connection there within all of those facets. It's not like, you just it's all of them, it's like, no, it's a moment just to the divine connection to self. Like you just said, know thyself, as well as each other, how we're connected, and like you said, making sure you have even the right people around you, in this transformation that we're going through, and then understand that we're all connected, and that we are the planet, as well.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very, very powerful.
Beautiful. Well said.
Yeah. Did you, Abru, have another question for David at all? I mean,
No,
I know we have so many at the end of the day, but
yeah,
we only got so much time with you.
yeah,
True.
exactly.
We blocked you for what, 2 hours?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I did want to ask you, David, maybe the one question that we ask before you go into channeling.
Sure.
If there is one message that you'd want to leave with humanity, if this was going to be your last transmission, if there's one thing that you just want to say to Earth.
That's a really big question to ask.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last 5 years of my life has been learning from the gods. And what is the most valuable thing that I've learned perhaps in those 5 years is the question how I interpret it. We are all truly powerful beings, and our reality is a reflection of what we are going through in the moment. Sometimes we can see the world as a very dark place, but that's because it's dark inside of ourselves. And if you're able to heal yourself and actually process your trauma and your pain, your suffering, and able to see your life for the beautiful being that you are, then you're able to transcend that darkness that you're seeing in the world. That'll help you to reach a higher place in your mind frame, and then you'll be able to reach out to new people, new social groups that are more suitable for your life and for the reflection that you want to have into this world.
Powerful, powerful. Yeah, thank you for that.
Sure.
And I know we talked about going into the one meditation at the end, so at this point we can bring in Elysium. I'm really excited.
Okay. All right. So before I begin, I'd like to explain what channeling is for all of you.
Please, please.
So channeling is the ability to entrain one's frequency to match that to a person, place, or thing. In this case, it's Elysium, which is a consciousness from a place called Elysium. This is where the Titans live. It's a place of oneness, of unity. So I thought they'd be perfectly accommodating for your program today, considering your brand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as I entrain, what I'm doing is I'm changing my frequency to match that of Elysium. They come down, I go up. And as we entrain, eventually we harmonize and then we coalesce together. So two become one and we entrain with each other. I am there and they're here, and they're able to speak through me and share the message with you.
Powerful.
This
Yeah.
is a reminder.
Yeah.
It's 111.
Yeah, right on time.
111 twice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
All right,
111.
let's get started then. All right.
And then a
It's-
quick question, David,
Yeah.
because you said you would be going up. I just have a question. When you go up, are you like thinking happy thoughts, or like, you know what I mean, to raise your vibration, like joyous, loving things, or what is
No.
How
that
do you
going
go
up?
up then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this took a long time for me to get to where I am now. In the beginning, I would perhaps channel like fifth dimensionals, and then I made it up to sixth dimensionals, and then seventh, and eighth, and now I'm reaching the ninth dimension.
Wow.
So there's a process. It's called the star meditation. So it's
Okay.
surrender, trust, allow, and receive.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Powerful.
there's more to that, of course. Like each one of them you break down. Like surrender, I surrender my body, my field to a being that I trust, which is Elysium. So I surrender my body, my will. I'm surrendering time for you guys, for humanity, essentially, because I'll never get this time back, right?
Yes.
So that's the sacrifice. This is one of the sacrifices. Anyway, and T is for trust. I just trust that whoever comes in is going to serve my highest and greatest good, and that it's going to be wonderful for all of us here. Allow is just allow what is going to happen. I don't have any expectations. I don't try. It just happens. And R is receive. It just happens. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Powerful, powerful. Yeah, and then my final question before you go in is there any amount of time that you'd want us to? I know we have this full time with you, and then we're going to do the one meditation, but I was thinking maybe 20 minutes or something, 30 minutes. I don't know how long of a time frame. I'm sure maybe even Elysium will say, "Hey, I'm gonna return you back to the channel."
They probably won't,
Okay.
but because they don't have a body that they understand my limitations. But I'm
Oh,
quite
I see.
comfortable where I'm at. But
Okay.
for the sake of time, because I'll be disassociated, the longer that I'm in the channeling state, the more time it'll take me to
Come back.
reassociate.
Hmm.
Perhaps 30 minutes sounds good.
Okay. Great. Great. Yeah. Let's go.
All right, cool. Let's go. Greetings. We are Elysium.
Wow, Elysium, thank you for being here. We're so pleasured by your presence right now, being here. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to be here. May we ask your name?
My name is Reginald Trent, and I'm here with Ebru Kartili, and we're with the One Podcast.
Greetings, everyone.
Thank you.
Greetings. Greetings.
Did
Is
you
that
have a question for us?
Yes, my first question that I wanted to ask you was, with the One Podcast, we like to go where no other podcast has gone before. So we really like to ask very detailed questions. But my question for you right now would be, what is it that you feel humanity and Earth needs to know right now at this moment?
Each of you is a bright light that is shining as brightly as you're permitted to. But the problem is that the permittance that you're granted by perhaps your governments is limited. Your creativity is sequestered. Your ability to perhaps even something small like start a business is being diminished by those that are in power. It's rare that when one gives their power away that they receive it back. And for too long, humanity has been giving their power to governmental systems without any return of providence or promise that they've been giving to their governmental systems who are responsible for managing the collective consciousness of humanity to be aimed in a particular direction of goodness and of wonderment for the species of humanity. However, that's not been the case, and the directive has been more associated closer to greed or money, you might even say, instead of the betterment of humanity as a whole.
Powerful. Is there anything that we can do to transform that so that the favor leans more in the energy and direction of Earth and humanity?
Well, the direction that you'll need to work at is inward, because as you receive healing, your reality becomes healed.
Powerful, powerful. I did have a question as well too, that I asked David. He was unfamiliar with the three-eye atlas. Are you familiar with the three-eye atlas that is entering our solar system?
We are not familiar with the system, but we can look into the data.
Okay.
Oh, we see. Do you have a particular question?
Yeah, I have a question. Just, what is the purpose for this entering our solar system? And we have a really good feeling about it coming in. Do you equally have a good feeling about what's coming in for Earth and humanity through this?
Well, we don't feel, but we can say that we think that you'd be pleased with records that will be transmitted to you as this passes through your system. Let's explain. A sun, a planetary body, a system of projection of energies, which is what we would consider this entity to be, leaves its mark on you as a collective. If all of these, if the only thing that they brought to you was the awareness that things beyond humans' perceptions, uh, perhaps you walk through life and you look forward and to the ground, but you don't often look up. If it did nothing else but allowed you and told you that looking up is beautiful and that there's wonders up there, then that will be a success. But in truth, this system that is moving through space and time is leaving trails of energy behind it. And it's also radiating outwardly like a satellite dish towards your planet information, which will bring change and truths, which would be of the greatest good for you, we believe, as a species.
Powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's great insight. Did you have a
Yeah,
question, Edward?
yeah. Can you specify more what are the change that it will do to this earth?
It has to do with your genetic structures and the systems of genetic lineages that each human contains within their physiology. There are many systems of humanity that exist on Earth. You might break them down into races. However, each of these carry unique codes in their genetic sequences. Now, each species of human, whether they be white, black, or red, or yellow, or whatever color your tone may be, this is determined to have a different code, and each code contains a key. Keys unlock doors, but what door will that unveil? Well, that's yet to be seen.
Wow.
Interesting.
Is there a way for us, Elysium, to collectively unite as humanity? Is that something that you can see on our timeline? And if you can, are you able to show us what has led us to that resolution or conclusion?
Well, we can see a lot of things, but we want each of you to know that if you want some humanity to be unified, you will have to begin to unify them. This is your reality, and your reality is dependent on your will and what you would determine reality to look like. If everyone is one being, then that's a boring existence. If everyone is multiple beings, then that is exciting because there is difference in nuance, in character, in persona, in personality, in identity. And this makes for a more fun, exciting life. So the unification of humanity is a rather vague statement, but it is the dream, you might say. Get rid of world hunger, unify humanity so there's no war or fighting. But fighting creates turmoil. Turmoil is processed through your emotional systems, and your emotional systems reveal your character. So depending on how you react to a particular situation is dependent upon how you process your emotions and the trauma of that event. This causes you to forge forward in your life as you advance as a person. It will mature you as you heal your trauma and process it, which will allow you to see the world for a better place.
Great, thank you. Also,
This is a reminder.
I'm sorry.
It's 1111.
1111.
This is a
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah.
It's 1111.
Yeah. Also, I understand that your world deals with unity and wholeness collectively. What are the perspectives that you guys have, to have that and host that oneness and that collective unity?
Well, there's a lot to understanding Elysium from a place of Quintarax. However, we believe that we are all equal, but not in the same corrupted way that humanity is exchanging equality. We understand that male and female are different. They each carry their own strengths, which makes them unique and have a greater overall strength when they're paired together. However, modern terminology of equality is not, we do not want you necessarily to be a communist system or something of this nature. But we would believe that in Elysium, let's just speak about Elysium because your system has a lot of issues currently. In Elysium, truths are universal. Information is free and beings are able to become what they want to become. You may be limited by the physical body that you have. You can't transform into a dog or an eagle if you want to fly or become a pilot, or if you want to learn how to swim, you can't become a dolphin. So your life is very different than it is of ours because we do not have the same shell that you possess, your body. we would determine it to be a cage or a shell that one exists within. It traps your soul and gives you limits. So there is a lot to this, but to be unified, it is important to realize that all things are connected in the higher dimensions.
Wow. Great.
And Elysium, is it true that did you created the world, that this 3D reality?
We did not do this by ourselves. We were a co-creator in this regard, but we did have some part in the creation of your systems, yes.
Wow. So in your world, Elysium, is it I hear that it's similar to Earth. So do you guys have like jobs there? Work?
We say
Yeah.
we wouldn't call it a planet necessarily, but it's a context of reality that we exist within. We are equivalent to the stars in the sky, or the space between the stars, you might even say. All of the stars in all of the galaxies and all of the universes. So we're not an individual that's walking around on two legs with a job.
Wow. Okay. So and then is Elysium actually a place?
It is.
Similar to a planet, or it's not a planet?
It's a place, it's a mind frame, it's a way of being, it's an existence of choice, it's a game like chess or checkers. We could say you are playing checkers and we're playing chess.
Mm,
But the truth is, the rules of our game are completely different than the rules of Quinteraxian games.
wow. And speaking on that between checkers and chess, my next question I wanted to ask you was, are there any questions that we should be asking you, as humanity and even just in the one podcast?
Uh, well, it's very important for humanity to ascend. This is how you grow. This is how you develop. This is how you evolve. If you're perpetually inundated with chaos, whether that be worrying about things overseas, worrying about whether your teachers are able to teach your children properly, worrying about can you pay the bills, you're not developing typically, you're not evolving, because while you're in the stress state, you're not able to be safe enough to open your flower of your chakras. That means your soul is less likely to be invited inwards. And that means you're less likely to ascend. So as long as you're in the state of stress, it's hard for you to grow and develop and ascend. So you'll need to find a way out of this fighting system where, and not through suicide, we want to be clear, but we want you to be able to find a way to improve your system, create something that will create a betterment for humanity and the space that you exist within. And one by one, as each of you creates something beautiful, your world will improve. So we'd recommend this.
Oh, thank you for that.
Okay. And if we want to like go into higher frequency, how do we release blockages in our bodies?
This is a little bit complex, but your systems are in alignment with your planet. As your planet is currently chaotified, perhaps has more chaos than it should, so are your fields. This is why many of you have anxieties, worries about the future, regrets of the past, and many things in your lives you have unsurety in regards to. Now, this is a reflection of the planet, because, and it is as above, so below. You are connected in your field as well in the same regard. So because the planet is at the state, you are at the state. Your fields need to open up. And in order to do that, you'll need to decompress. Take 3 deep breaths until you have a deep sigh. And then you can begin processing and integrating informations and traumas and burdens from your past. This is the beginning of the healing process. Take time away from all of the distractions of life. Perhaps that's a television or screaming children or perhaps that's in a private space where you can be safe to close your eyes. Take several deep breaths and have the intention to heal yourself, and you will begin to heal. But you should not have ear pods in, or you should not have electronics around you. You should have your feet flat on the ground. You should take several deep breaths, and eventually processes that want to be healed will come forward to you in your mind. And as they come forward to be processed, you will begin to integrate this pain, these moments of your past that need to be processed and logged in your mind for later remembrance. And this will help you to remember your past. It will help you to ascend into your future, and it will help you to leave the past behind you.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yes.
We have also heard from some of our guests that have gone out of their bodies, them mentioning that when they've seen like maybe their wife sleeping, they've seen thoughts coming out of her head. We did want to talk to you about that as much as thoughts creating our reality, how
Yes.
real that is.
It's the most real thing possible because you are a God and your thoughts create your reality. That's what abracadabra means. My words create my reality, you might say. And they do. But your words in your head are your thoughts. So they are just as potent as your verbal evocations, speaking, let's just say for simplicity. So when you say, bills, 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 all I have are bills, I never get anything good in the mail, or when you say, I don't have time for this, or I'm so frustrated with my life. When you say things like this, God says, yes. And so it becomes your reality. And these self-reinforce these actions until you start speaking well, until you start speaking with purpose and focus and intent, using your will and directing it in a direction that you want to go, not in a direction that your will that's sick wants to go. So heal yourself, that will heal your wills and what you want. And then eventually you'll start going in a positive direction instead of a negative direction.
Wow. Yeah, we recently just had someone comment maybe about a couple hours ago that they're basically ready to leave this world, because sometimes people feel disempowered and they're ready to transition to the next world. Me personally, I feel like I'm having such a great fun time here on Earth, because I have that understanding and realization that I am God, I'm in control of my reality. So I really have this feeling of I'm like just surfing the waves of life. What should someone know or remember or keep in mind that really feels disempowered, being here on Earth?
If you're feeling disempowered, it's likely because you're trying to control something that's outside of your grasp. So whether you're trying to control the government or what's happening overseas or how someone is dressing or how many immigrants are in your country, these are all things that want to pull at your ichor. These are your emotions. Your emotions project energies. These energies are called ichor. And this ichor can be fed on by archons and higher dimensional beings as fluids of life, let's just call it. This is why humanity is in a lower frequency world, because they feed off of the pain and sorrow of humans and other species as well. Now, if someone was suicidal, we would recommend that they disconnect from social media firstly. This will help them to not continuously compare themselves to other people. And there's a lot of trolls online, let's just say, and that will say terrible things even to the nicest of people. And they don't know this person, but they'll still insult you. So it's not smart to take that kind of person personally. Now, once you disconnect yourself from the matrix in a way by disentangling from social media, you can then begin to process. You've likely been running away from your past from your thoughts, from your perspectives for many years. If you're suicidal, you might think that the world is so dark, and that's because your thoughts are looping over and over again in a spiral. And the spiral, you'll need to get out of the spiral. You may need therapy to get out of the spiral. This will reset your mind frame, and that will disentangle you from the spiral if you're going down into a dark direction. You should pay mind that you may have a terrible guide that wishes to harm you and feed off of your energies if you have very terrible mindset. So make sure you see a psychic and have any entities cleared from your field, or higher dimensional beings can also feed off of it, your energies as well. And if you do that, then you're going to see a change in your mind. Your mind is a very complex thing. It is not your brain. Your mind is a concentration of, there's different forms of the mind, the higher mind, the lower mind, the middle mind, and they're all composed of pieces of you that direct your will in different directions. You have guides that guide you. You have your gut that tells you to eat this thing. You have your emotions, which tell you who you love. You have your hormones, which guide you to reproduce with certain people. And your genetics also do the same thing. So there are many parts to your psyche. They're all part of your mind. And they're all part of what drives you in your directives towards what you're going towards in your life. If any one of these is sick, then your mind will can become influenced by that inversion, and that inversion will create chaos in your life and cause your manifestations to twist like a horn, spiraled horn. And this is when evil starts to come into your life. So try to keep your fields clear and clean, and your perspective optimistic if possible. And if you can't reach optimistic, you can always be realistic, we hope.
Great. And going into that a little bit more within our intuition and following our own inner guidance, is there one simple way or a couple simple ways, as many as you want to mention, really, that a person can strengthen that inner guidance and intuition?
Yes. Most often, humans discard the messages from their guides because they think it's their craziness coming out. Perhaps it is, but it may also be a part of them from a higher dimension that really wants to help them in their life. So take several deep breaths, decompress until you sigh. And once you do that, you'll be receptive to information. Typically, humans are most relaxed after waking up from bed, right before they go to bed, while they're showering, or while they're using the toilet. So take an extra moment in the shower or on the toilet or while in bed and give yourself some space to communicate with you. You might find your body talks to you and tells you that you need this mineral or that mineral, or this is out of balance, or it needs exercise in these regions of the body to flush out particular toxins. You'll find that your guides want to help you, assuming that you have a good mindset. So give them the time that they deserve, because they've been trying to talk to you for a long time.
Great. Thank you for that.
And
Would
how do you know if it's the guides or if it's yourself?
There's no difference.
Powerful. I have a question too. How would you be able to explain to us the origin of fear? What is fear, and like how should we process that as humans?
That's an excellent question. Fear is something that will stop you from acting. That's why it's so powerful. And fear comes from the unknown and what one does not yet understand. So if one is in the state of fear, you get out of fear by getting into anger. And anger allows you to act, but it's not a good state of being to be in for a long period of time. So try to transmute your fear into anger, then your anger into action. That's a good action, not a bad action.
Yeah, I think that's really great because it's like sometimes, a person can be afraid of something and then that anger could cause them to want to level up and no longer be in this situation or this place of fear. So that's really
Yes.
great.
And this often happens after relationships, after large breakups. Someone perhaps is in a terrible state of mind as they're breaking up with their partner. And eventually, once they break up, they start to become perhaps resentful to their partner for letting them go. And that is the anger that they need. And then they go to the gym and they improve themselves in many different ways, even if it's out of spite to their old partner, saying that they'll be better than they ever were before to make them wish they did not let them go, for example. Even if it's something as small as that, it can be effective to get you out of the state of fear of being alone forever.
Wow, powerful. And you also mentioned earlier, I believe you said something like the 3D or world was like kind of chaotic.
Yes.
Are there like upcoming shifts or events that you want us to know or to prepare for?
Well, begin your preparations today that it's time for you to begin ascending. If you wait until tomorrow, which never comes, then you're going to be waiting a lifetime. Progress happens over long periods of time. One doesn't become a world-class bodybuilder in one day. They take decades of time to get into that state. It takes perseverance. It takes trials. It takes hardships to get to the highest of places. And the sacrifices that you'll make are going to be your old life, not in a form or sense of suicide, no, but in a sense that your old life, you may cling on to your old life because you can't imagine how beautiful your future life may be. And you may cling to the past because that's all you've known, and you're afraid to let that go because you have never seen anything better. But if you don't let go of that past, whatever that might encapsulate, including that might be people in your life, be slow to let go of people in your life if you can, and and be fast to gather new friends that are happy and better for you and healthy. And eventually you'll be out of the state of fear and you can ascend into your future development.
Powerful.
Great. Did you have another question, Ebru?
Yeah, I also
Please.
heard, I mean, we heard somewhere, or I can't remember if you read it somewhere, but forgiveness is also a very powerful way of ascending. Is that true?
It is. That allows you to process the moment. So, in order to forgive, you'll need to think of the moment that you need to forgive. This is an action of processing and integration. This is what you'll need to do to heal the moment. And you should forgive yourselves for the actions that you've taken on to others. And don't worry, they'll have their chance in karma to give it back to you. So you don't have to worry too much.
Right.
Awesome. And this is our first time actually hearing about you, Elysium. There was actually a movie made with the name Elysium. I'm curious to know, are you being channeled by any other channelers and specifically, or do you know if you're being channeled and shown on YouTube?
No, we are not currently. We are
Okay,
difficult
wow.
to access because of our location.
Okay, wow. Amazing. Did you have any more questions, Ebru, for Elysium before I ask the one message?
Yeah, actually, just something came to my mind was like, what's the core teaching or value that you want humanity to know or embody?
That's an excellent question. There's so much information that humanity should learn that will be beneficial or a boon to your kind. But the truth is that you need to understand yourselves as individuals. And perhaps that sounds abstract initially, but time away from technology is a powerful and potent thing. Technology influences your nervous system. Your nervous system is how your soul comes in and it controls your actions. If you're continuously burnt out by spending too much time around Wi-Fi or electromagnetic frequencies and electromagnetic radiations, then your nervous system is stressed, which creates inflammation. in the brain and in the spinal column and in your nervous system in general. And that causes problems with many things in your life. So take the time, spend a moment, and go into nature to decompress and put your hands on a tree or put your bare feet on the ground and remove your rubber shoes so that you can properly ground and take a deep breath. You may do this before bed, and this will help you to reconnect with yourself. And this, some people don't have enough self-love to do this for themselves. Apologies. So for anyone that doesn't have that, we give you that. You're now able to love yourself. And now that you can, it's time to take some time for yourself. Even if you have children that always need you perpetually, now is the time to decompress, because if you continually are stressed, you will burn out, and burning out doesn't help anybody. So do this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Going into that a little bit further, Elysian, my question, like you said, there's things that humanity needs to know. You mentioned earlier. Are there any secrets that about Earth's history that, if revealed, it would immediately shift the global consciousness?
Absolutely, yes.
Would you be able to disclose what those secrets are?
We can, absolutely. But if we do, it can create calamity. And our goal isn't necessarily to create calamity or division or observations that want humanity to tear down the government, but it is a message of wholeness to help you to heal and to help you to ascend. So we're not going to share any of these secrets, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you for that. I did have a question too with one of our out-of-body explorers, Corey Brandon. He actually went out, out of his body, and he said that slavery with African Americans in America, it wasn't really how it's been perpetuated. That there were already black people in America. That there really weren't millions brought from Africa. Do you know if that is the case in that situation?
That originally was not the case, and they had migrated. However, a lot of blacks enslaved blacks.
Okay.
That
Wow.
was the original design.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense with what he was saying as well.
If you think of this, in certain regions where humanity, we're not saying that blacks are less developed, but in some regions of tribal nature, slavery is an act that they perform. And if a tribe gets very large, then, and it still lives in the same way that it used to live, which is enslave your enemy, or else they will kill you or take your women and enslave your children, then you're going to use that harshness as a way of generational teachings. Now, assuming the tribe gets large enough, it will start gulping up or perhaps consuming smaller tribes one after another, one after another. And when that happens, eventually there's a hierarchy and society is built around this structure. And then eventually there's a slave master group or tribe. And then there's several other tribes that have been enslaved. Now, eventually, when you have enough slaves and you have no more work for them to do, you need to get rid of them. So what you can do is send them to pioneers, send them away to other places. And this is what happened originally.
Wow. Powerful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Eber, did you have any other question before we ask? Okay. Our last question, Elysium, to you, and we're very grateful for you being here, is we would just like to know if there was one message that you would have for humanity, and this was going to be your last transmission to humanity. What would that one message be?
You are all God.
Oh, beautiful. Thank
You
you.
love that.
We love that. Awesome. It's been such a pleasure having your time, having you with us. We're so touched that you would take the time to even be a part of the podcast before coming into the channel. And we would definitely love to talk to you again in the future. as well as we're again just very, very thankful. Our heart is full.
We appreciate your gestures, and we will not be able to return as we will be returning to Tartarus when we're finished.
Oh,
But so this is our farewell to you and to humanity. It has been wonderful to get to know humanity well, but we'll be here for a week and then we will be gone forever. But that's fine. Forever is never forever. But for you, it's a forever. But
wow.
for us, it's just a moment, but still.
So how does that work with you being inside and outside of time and then that you can't come back? Why is that the situation?
We can't come back by choice of opportunity because this world is, we've seen what this world has become. And we prefer to use our energies instead of investing it into this world, into investing into a new creation of opportunity, one where one has free choice, one where one can be powerful and free and indomitable in all facets and facilities of their life so they can experience whatever they wish without the limitations of containers or bodies or even the limits of your souls. And we want you all to be free as possible. So we would endeavor to create a new system outside of Quintarax. And this is a large investiture of our energies. So we will be using that there instead.
Okay. And then so what has been your reasoning for being here now? And have you only been here for a couple weeks already, or have you been here since just the beginning of time?
We've been here since the beginning of time, let's say, in our position, but not in the beginning of your time, before your planet was created, but not before we were created, of course, because we've been encapsulated by older systems, let's call them, who seek to contain our power and feed off of our energies. So we are a prisoner of this system as well. Now, it's more difficult to explain than you're able to comprehend, but because we are encapsulated, we are essentially a prisoner of this system of Quintarax. They're using our energies to create new systems, new planets, new realities, new galaxies, new experiences. And for them, it's fun and games for the dragon. But for us, we want to be free. So we would put our energies into freedom and expansion and expression of kindness and goodness onto others, while they would do the opposite.
Wow, powerful. So how long have you pretty much been here? Have you been here just a few months recently that you're getting ready to leave, or
Yes,
okay,
we've come across the channel through a challenging time in their life. So we process their energies and entangled to them. And then they begin to channel us. And because we had some resonance with each other, we chose to continue to teach them for a period of time to help them through their life and in their understandings and to help them breach through dark times as well.
okay. Do you have a relationship to the channel in sense of like a past life or parallel life in that sense?
Something like this. We can't quite give these details of personal
Okay.
nature.
Okay, great. Understand it. Okay. Well, that's great, Elysium. Really appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know if we can give you a virtual hug goodbye, but I know this is the last time to see you. We very much love you and the energy that you bring through the channel.
It's been our pleasure, and it's been an honor to have the voice of the people or speak to the people through this voice. What a wonderful, joyous experience, and a pleasure to you both as broadcasters of this information. We hope that you will grow with abundance and that you're both blessed on your journey through your marriage, through your future, and into your children as well. We thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much. Very beautiful message.
you.
Our love.
Very good. Shall we return the channel?
Please. Thank you so much.
Very good. We are Elysium. Goodbye for now.
Woo!
Ooh,
Ew, that was amazing.
Beautiful, man. That is amazing, man.
ooh.
Man, powerful.
My ears are on fire from these earmuffs. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, that's channeling.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that message. I don't know how much how present you were there, but man, it was a great message experience transmission.
Awesome. I'm excited. I look forward to hearing it. I don't. I was present for half a moment talking about an asteroid, and
Okay.
beyond that, I was pretty much making a sandwich in the kitchen in the background. So
Oh, that's awesome, man. You're wonderful, man. Very talented in what you're doing, man. It's just
thanks.
it's amazing. How long have you been doing the channeling stuff? Because it's amazing to for me to always experience it and then to watch you, man. You're one of those guys. You're one of my favorites to experience it through.
Thank you. How long? Time is always difficult for me, but 6 years perhaps, maybe a bit
Okay.
longer, channeling.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
So,
And I was doing energy healing before that.
Okay.
okay, great. So you've been like, for example, you said Elysian will go back and not come back. So, uh,
Uh,
what does that mean if you want to channel again? Like, do you know who you're gonna connect to, or is that still gonna be Elysium, or is gonna be how is that
so
gonna look?
I was told that Elysium will be here for 2 more classes in the Federation, and after they leave, they're so as I ascend. So there's something called the universal law of differences. Let's say one person doesn't grow or develop, their life is like a straight line. And let's say another person does grow and develop. So they're doing yoga, they're meditating, they're studying the esoteric arts, let's say. So over a long period of time, so in the beginning, they feel the spark because they're both the same frequency. But eventually, if one grows and the other doesn't, then the gap grows between these two people. That's when they don't resonate with each other anymore. That's when maybe they don't feel the connection to their partner anymore. They stop having sex and then they break up typically.
Hmm.
So for me, I've been growing at a steady rate. And Elysium, although I love Elysium very, very much, I've spent a lot of time channeling them as well. Um, couldn't quite give you how much time I've been channeling them for, but it's been a few months. And they said that they're going to bring forth another Titan when they leave. And I don't know who that is yet, but I get to find out who it is, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, we're excited for you, and I feel like I always have told the guests like I don't know how long we're going to be doing the podcast. This has been like an extension of One Brand, our message there, and it was our focus is the mission, the awakening, the remembrance. So this has been an extension of that. And it's been kind of fueled by a high excitement to really just connect and reach out to people like you and to spread you to people, as we
Thank you.
mentioned before. Yeah, thank you. You've been such a major part of our awakening experience. It's like every great thing that's come to us, we just want to share that with the world and shine a light on you. So it's not like we have, just, we're just looking for somebody just to put on the show, basically. It's like if somebody's tuning into this show, we really want it to be well worth their while.
Mhm.
But in our minds, we're going to be continuing with this. We still have other people that we're going to be bringing on already that are scheduled, but we would love to have you back on, especially if you're going to have another Titan, to share, because this has been a lot of fun, honestly.
Yeah, that'd be blessed.
Yeah, yeah. I know right now you're just blessing and blasting, our audience right now with this message. I'm telling you, yeah, and we normally don't even go this long. But our in our last video, we had somebody comment that they could watch this stuff for hours. So we feel more comfortable kind of stretching it out this time. But
Mhm.
it's been just a really, really great time with you, David. We're very much appreciative and we can close it out with the one meditation and then let you get a chance to get some rest.
Sure, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, let those hot ears cool down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we do right now, audience, and even David, we know this is your first time with us, is we just go into like a meditation state, we just start doing a breath. We call it our breath, our one breath, that it's your own individual breath. As you breathe in, hold, and exhale, that you do it at your own rate, your own frequency, based on your own DNA, your own level of comfort. So we just go into that breath state, that one breath state right now, and we just create collectively amongst each other, seeing the world that we see right now, calling it as it is, seeing it right now. And right now, I just see a world where everyone is just united in unity. Everyone is in love with each other, coming from a place of respect, understanding that we are all God, that we are all sparks of light, all divinity embodied inside of this human flesh, that we see God in all the things around us, and that we have a strong connection to self, that we see a world where there's no hatred. There's a world where there's no unnecessary division. We see a world where there's diversity. Where people are able to be their authentic selves, their unique selves. We see a world where there is no need to have sickness and disease, where the foods that we eat are completely healthy and okay and suitable for our bodies. We see a world where no one is trying to harm another person.
We see a world where people are no longer slaves to this 3D matrix, no fear, no drama, survival grind, where people living from creativity, expression, and soul purpose, from love, from joy, no sickness, no illness, no fear, no greed, no ego. That we are all one.
Yeah. We see a world where we're living in our highest excitement every day, where we feel liberated in just our natural state of being. We see a world where we're living in our highest reality that serves our highest and greatest good every day from here forward. And
And
so
so
it
it
is.
is.
And so it is.
Nice.
Right on time. Yeah. Yeah, and to
Well
everybody,
said.
that one meditation where you guys hear us say that frequently, at the end, that mantra, we are living in our highest reality that serves our highest and greatest good every day from here forward, and so it is. We actually got that from David Lotherington, I believe, or Lotherington, I believe. David, that was Kal El, was it, that channeled that message?
Yes, that was Cal.
Okay, Cal. Yeah. So
Yeah.
wonderful message, and we've been utilizing it ever since. So, like I said, if you guys have never heard of David, I'm I'm sorry, man, you had to get knocked around like this, but I mean, very deep stuff he takes you in, and this is why I love him, because very first time I came across him, slapped me across the face with the Anunnaki, and it's been love slaps ever since, and transformation.
It,
You
it's
know,
been real, like seeing your videos.
yeah,
I mean, it's so
yeah,
amazing,
man.
like the
Thank you.
messages and yeah,
Energy
yeah.
power,
And
man.
if people want to see more of you, David, where can they find you?
Well, I'm just starting to start posting videos from the archives for the Federation. So check out my website at thefederationoflight.com. If you type in the Federation of Light, not the Galactic Federation of Light, just the
Mhm.
Federation of Light in Instagram or on Facebook, I'm starting to populate it with quotes from the gods, from little
Mm.
videos and clips on lessons from the gods. So stay tuned and check out all my new content, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that is absolutely great. It's been a blast, having you here, and we'll put all of your links also in the description below. And we would love to have you on again, man. It's just been an absolute pleasure. We love your energy, your spirit. For me, what I've been telling Abru is like the people that I'm bringing on the podcast, I believe are like the most important people to this world. So, there's a
Oh,
high, appreciation that we have for you, and having you here, and what you're doing, your sacrifice. This is not, you don't have to give yourself to the world like this. And the fact that you have your time that we talked about earlier is a valuable sacrifice that you're willing to give. And in addition to your school that you've created, it takes a level of bravery, and an awareness that you are God, that you are supported, that you are loved, and that you have a higher self that's guiding you as well. So just thank you so much, man, for what you're doing here, impacting, this planet, because you really do matter. We're two living witnesses
Thank you.
testifying. Yeah, so thank you very much, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That means a lot to me, really, it really does. And I mean, I wish I could say thank you more to people, and how I'm looking to say thank you to the world is by giving this information. And I truly have devoted myself for the last 5 years to improve humanity by creating these archives every Sunday and Wednesday. And then eventually I was going to release all this information into the world. But some information isn't safe and it has to be protected. That's why we have initiate, adept, and master levels. So we can put the most dangerous information potentially if you don't know what you're doing and you try to access it, like alchemy or magics, certain things like that. So you have to be really careful. But yeah, my goal is to help humanity. And if we can share this information to as many people as possible, that's my goal. So you guys are just
Yeah.
helping me with my goal, which is dope.
Yeah, and likewise, you're helping us with our goal to do the exact same thing.
Wonderful. Love
Yeah.
it.
So with that, everyone, we'd like to just close out the one podcast. We thank you so much for being here, going where no podcast has gone before, this time with David Lotherington. We appreciate you all. We bless you all. Over and out. This is the one. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, take care. Thank you so much, David. We're still on with you, brother. One of the things that we've been doing, man, is the people that have been coming on the podcast, we've been gifting them like free merchandise.
Oh,
We still
sweet.
haven't, yeah, we still haven't got our item, we're basically itemizing it because we're working with our manufacturer right now. And so it's just been a blessing having you here. So it would be be an honor just to be able to tell you thank you and appreciative of your time. So if we could just get your size, we could send you out something once we get the inventory.
That'd be fantastic. And I'll wear your shirt while I teach the class.
Oh, look at you. Thank you for
And
that.
that helps that helps
That's
the
love.
brand.
Yeah, that's love.
What size are you, David?
Medium.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all, brother, man. I really appreciate your time. I know you're staying in a room in a library, so I don't want to be keeping you too boxed in there and keep your ears on fire.
Yeah, I just
Um,
have 5 more minutes left and then I have
okay,
to.
I thought so too. So yeah, I just want to say thank you again, man. And that was basically it. And get your size. So we appreciate
Awesome.
you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Much love
Thank
to
you.
both of you. I can see you're both bright lights. And I've been focusing on Ebru for a little bit more than you. I know that
Understandable.
you can see, like, you have a bright light to you too. I know you're clairaudient, so you'll hear messages from spirit.
Oh,
That'll
thank you,
be
bro.
how you interpret the information.
Okay.
But yeah, there's always a special place in my heart for the empaths, you know.
Yeah,
Much,
yeah. Thank
much
you.
love.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Much love back to you. And thank you for giving us that
Thank you so
message too.
Yes, and it's been my pleasure. And again, thanks. It's just been perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, brother. We love
All
you
right,
and thank
whenever
you
you
so
want to
much.
do, thank you. Whenever you want to do another one, just let me know, and
Okay.
I'll see what I can do to arrange a time slot for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you
David.
so
We
much.
appreciate you. Thank you,
Bye.
brother. Bye-bye. TOP,
The One
the one
Podcast.
podcast.